Well, good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee, and our Sunday morning celebration, both here in the sanctuary and online. And if you're here online, make sure that you're muted so your picture doesn't suddenly appear in the middle of my talk, uh, or we don't have any interference. But we're glad to have you. And I'm Rev Pam Brandman, the senior minister here at the center. It's my joy to welcome you here. Whoever you are and wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. We know that there are many paths to God, and we're grateful that you have chosen to be here with us this morning, because all of those paths end in oneness and in love. We start our morning with our receptivity statement, and if you would read along with me. I am here by divine appointment. Something I am about to hear applies to my life. I am open, receptive, and willing to explore the possibilities. And we know that our center's purpose is love. Our vision is embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. We have our musician today is Kalyani Marsh. And Kalyani has traveled widely as an evolutionary singer-songwriter. This morning she's traveled, or last night, from Grass Valley to join us. We're grateful to have her here. She has recorded 9 CDs that facilitate an inspired, healing space of self-discovery, which is a lot of what we're about here in our center. She describes these song gifts as wisdom teachers, helping her to continue to evolve and understand the truth within self, which is our higher self with a capital S. Most recently, Kalyani has been commissioned to create music for meditation with the purpose of conveying the wisdom and the vibration of each line of the Lord's Prayer, sung in Aramaic. So she's going to share the first line with us today. It's my pleasure to welcome this morning's musician, Kalyani. Okay, I guess.
Good morning. Happy to be with you again today. It's been a while. I think it's been, 3 years or something like that? That's right. So I would like to start with a very meditative song, Abwoon, and you can sing along if you feel comfortable. And I also have something in English, too, to translate the vibration of Abwoon. I allow the light of unconditional love to be within me. Or you can just close your eyes and have a nice meditation. Abwoon surrender to what's always true. I allow the light of love to be within me. Abwoon Washamaya. 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 Surrender and let it be. I surrender to what's always true. I allow the light of love to be within me. To be within me.
You know, we're blessed in our center to have some wonderful musicians that join us, and so I want to thank Kalyani for being here. It's like sometimes when you hear a voice, it's like finding part of your soul that that you've been missing. So I've been here for 3 years, and I didn't know you were a part of us until now again. So good to have you here. Our practitioner this morning is Brenda Heldoorn, and she's also part of our collective soul that we have here at CSL Tahoe-Truckee. And Brenda's getting ready to teach a wonderful class that starts in 9 days called E², How Our Thoughts Create Reality. And you can read more about it on our Facebook page, or Instagram, the web page, or even better, you can talk to her about it this morning in person. So please help me welcome Brenda Heldoorn to provide this morning's special reading and invocation.
Good morning. Today's sacred reading comes from The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. The question is simply, do you want to be happy? If the answer is really yes, then say it without qualifying it. After all, what the question really means is, do you want to be happy from this point forward, for the rest of your life, regardless of what happens? The key to staying happy is really very simple. Begin by understanding your inner energies. If you look inside, you will see that when you're happy, your heart feels open, and the energy rushes up inside of you. When you aren't happy, your heart feels closed and no energy comes up inside. So to stay happy, just don't close your heart. No matter what happens, even if your wife leaves you, your husband dies, you don't close. There is no rule that says you have to close. Just tell yourself that no matter what happens, you're not going to close. You really do have that choice. When you start to close, just question if you're really willing to give up your happiness. You should examine what it is inside of you that believes that some benefit to closing. The slightest thing happens to you and you give away your happiness. You're having a great day until someone cuts you off on your way to work. It got you really upset and you stayed that way the rest of the day. Why? Dare you ask yourself that question? What good came from letting it ruin your day? There is no benefit. If someone cuts you off, just let it go and stay open. If you really want to, you can. Unconditional happiness is a very high path and a very high technique because it involves everything. You could learn yoga techniques such as meditation and posture, but what do you do with the rest of your life? The technique of unconditional happiness is ideal because what you're doing with the rest of your life is already defined. You're letting go of yourself so you can remain happy. A person who actually does this every moment of every day is going to notice a cleansing of their heart. This is because they're not getting involved in the stuff that comes up. They're also going to notice the purification of their mind because they are not getting involved in the mind's melodrama. Their Shakti, or spirit, is going to awaken even if they know nothing about Shakti. They will come to know a happiness that is beyond human understanding. This path solves daily life, and it solves spiritual life. The greatest gift one can give to God is to be pleased with His creation. And so join me in prayer. In knowing this truth, that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. This understanding of the nature of the One, love, truth, beauty, joy, wisdom, intelligence, power. As there is only one, there is only one thing to be of, one with the One. That is the truth behind the infinite variety of life. There is only one source. And therefore that source is available to each of us at all times. It is who and what we really are, expressing individually as each of us. And so I recognize that the state of happiness is the state of unity with the One. Letting go of all of the appearances, all of my judgments, all of my value statements of good or bad. Releasing all of this and coming back into unity with the One. There is no other way to be but happy. Expressing love, joy, truth, beauty, wisdom, creativity, laughter and wonder. Happiness is my natural state of being. I breathe that in. I know that that's true for me. It's true for each one of us. To the extent that we understand and embody this truth, it becomes our life. It outpictures in our world and expresses in our relationships, in our experience of life, and in the gifts that we give to this life. And so in gratitude, I embrace this knowing. I allow it to become my expression of life. I release my word into the law, knowing that it moves on the surface of the undifferentiated spirit. and comes rushing back to me, fulfilled and joyful. I let it go, I allow it to be, and so it is.
So it is.
And I invite Kalyani back.
I'd like to share with you a piece that I'm working on. I've probably been working on it for like a couple of years. It's just these songs that when I'm through learning the meaning and the wisdom in the song, then it's like I move on from the song. But I'm still working on this one. It's called "Of the Earth and Sky," and it sort of animates one of the Beatitudes, which is blessed. It's known as "Blessed are the meek; they shall inherit the earth." But a more accurate translation would be, "Blessed are the gentle; they shall inherit the earth. And healthy are those who have softened what is rigid within. They shall receive the physical vigor and strength from the universe." That's how this Aramaic language is so vast. It's like it's hard to go back to the King James version after that. Okay, so. I desire to build a garden beginning inside of me, and nurture light in my heart so that I may see the truth beyond what's outside of me. Empower my heart to be unencumbered by the shadows of the past. Empower my heart to feel what's really inside. There's nowhere left, there's nowhere left, nowhere left to hide. I desire to be in this body, got my feet planted, feel the earth. I am determined to hear the wisdom that was given at my birth, the birth of my soul. Understanding I am choosing for the light of my soul, guiding my way beyond all wrong, beyond all wrong, judgment, wrong and right. Let in the light, I will receive it. Open my heart to the softness inside. hula makike dihanon ne tunar a tu ve hula makike dihanon ne tunar a tu ve hula makike dihanon ne tunar a. Blessed are the gentle, they shall inherit the earth, bringing together the earth and sky. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That song talked a lot about evolving and allowing. And that really is where, it's a process, it's not understanding spirit, experiencing spirit is not something that we can force. It's not something that happens consciously in the outer world. It's something that happens inside. And we have to let go and surrender for that to happen. So the topic we're talking about today is if you're happy and you know it. And when you're a child, it's so easy to let go. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And then stomp your feet and shout hooray, right? So we go through those songs, and as a child, perhaps you remember singing that. I remember I have fond memories singing that at camp, and everybody's just so excited and happy, and it's wonderful to be at camp and wonderful to be here with our friends, and just this is as good as it gets, right? But in our adulthood, we spend a lot of our time trying to get back to that feeling of just utter happiness. And it seems like there's a long way to go to get from where we are to that feeling, and there seems to be a lot of stuff in the way. Ernest Holmes, in his book Help for Today, he said, we should rediscover the youthful spirit of that childlike joy, which gave us the energy, happiness, security, and faith we had as children. Right? That's what we're looking for. We felt it once, we want to feel it again. Right? So we pursue happiness in lots of different ways. So we start at the material level. When I had that new car, that new house, a new career, or maybe it's in relationships. If I have that new friend, maybe a soulmate, or maybe a new soulmate. That one wasn't quite right. Or a new child, right? And, we do great efforts to go through all of these things, looking in the outside world for happiness. But when we find whatever it is that we were looking for, it's not enough. There's something more that we're looking for. We can climb Mount Everest, and it's still not enough. Now, there's a song that, we have the one from childhood, and there's one more recently that captures that feeling of happiness that we've been seeking, and a happiness that lasts, that isn't conditional on what is going on outside of ourselves. It's a feeling of being in that divine presence that's pure joy, pure love, of being alive and connected to the one. And so I'd like you to listen to this song by Pharrell Williams. It was used in the movie Despicable Me, and I think it's been sung many times by people that are and very happy or wanted to be happy. So enjoy. So happy. The I'd love to dance, and when I dance, it gets that feeling of just complete abandonment, just one with the universe, and that whole feeling. I remember at a high school dance when I felt that. I think it was probably a cosmic consciousness experience, but I didn't really know what it was yet, right? And so it's a something of just being fully present. It's like happiness is the truth of who we are, what life is, right? And I remember watching my daughter when she was in high school. She was on the hip hop team. And so she danced out on the field with this hip hop team, and she just loved it. It was about feeling alive to her. There was a lot of stuff going on in her life. She'd lost her dad and my husband and first husband, and this is what gave her joy, right? Of just being there with her friends. So this morning's look at happiness, unconditional happiness, we're going to go a little bit deeper, right? Even when we see it on the outside, there's something deeper happening on the inside. How do we reach that level of happiness? So there's lots of different ways that they teach us in science and coaches and therapy and all that kind of stuff. So when you're feeling bummed, one of the reliable things to do is gratitude, a gratitude practice. So it's a spiritual practice. It brings up feelings of happiness and joy, and sit down and just write down 5 things that you're really grateful for when you get up in the morning or when you go to bed at night or when you're just really feeling bummed. Just sit down and write, because there is so much to be grateful for. The cup is half full. And Brene Brown, in her book, The Gifts of Perfection, she says, in addition to creating happiness in our lives, cultivate the spiritual practices that lead to joyfulness, especially gratitude. We need to live from a place of gratitude and joy. So, these things that you write down, it might be that new car, or it could be your reliable old car that gets you wherever you want to go, right? It might be things like seeing the sunrise or the sunset, especially better if you're seeing with someone special, right? But you can be by yourself. It could be that delicious meal that you shared with a special someone at Soul Domain, or maybe a picnic on a mountaintop, right? It could just be someone's smile that fills your whole being with love. Right? One of my favorites is just sitting there with your morning coffee or tea and just being fully present. Take your time to just savor the moment and your connection with life, to just be alive. I think that the special connection with coffee and tea is partly just because you take that time to be fully present. It's not just about the tea or the coffee. It's about that feeling that we take that time. There's lots of rituals that can foster self-care and happiness. And so gratitude is one of those important ones that they talk about with the modern day coaches and therapists and science doctors have discovered. And so there's several that I'd like to share with you that have come. There's a website called freshgigs.ca, which is the Canadian equivalent of Indeed or Monster.com. And so they have 5 things that they suggested in a recent article. The first is exercise more. It statistically improves a person's mood by increasing the endorphins and the serotonin and all those things that happen in your body when you exercise. Sleep more. Sleep deprivation keeps your brain from processing what happens during the day, besides you feel tired. But also, sleep deprivation keeps your gloomy memories front and center, rather than allowing your pleasurable memories to be the one that you savor and bring up. Right? Third, they suggest help others. Stop thinking about yourself, and you will feel happy because you made a difference. Right? 4, smile already. Fake smiles, they've shown, will actually worsen your mood and reduce your productivity. But if you have a smile based on cultivating something positive, like a memory of a great vacation spot or your child's soccer goal that they just did, that will improve your mood and your productivity. And finally, be grateful, that we've already talked about. Now there's another website, verywellmind.com, and they've on there, they talk about how it's not just money and lifestyle that leads to happiness, that's ephemeral, but it's the simple experiences that are more important. We are in charge of our happiness. So there are 5, very similar. Practice daily gratitude, again. Or 2, surround yourself with positive people. That's one reason we really like being around being part of this loving and enlightened spiritual community here at Center for Spiritual Living Tahoe-Truckee. Third, practice regular acts of kindness, little things or big things. There's a 2000 movie called Pay It Forward, and this 11-year-old boy discovers that if he does one thing and pays it forward 3 times, and they pay it forward 3 times, it will take over the world eventually. And so it's all built around that idea. So, great movie to watch. The 4th one for them is spend more time with your family and friends. Now, therapists are recommending that one solution to the epidemic of depression that they've had among teenagers, maybe 30% of all teenagers right now are depressed, clinically depressed. And so, and withdrawn, partly it's because of COVID, partly because they haven't been with their friends or been practicing learning how to be friends in a healthy way. But they found that engaging in joyful family activities is actually very helpful in getting them to move beyond that instead of being isolated in front of those screens for so much time. And then finally, their fifth one is invest in experiences, not objects. You know, one reason we have so much inflation right now that during COVID, when people have been at home, they've been buying stuff that got sent by Amazon or whomever, and rather than going out to restaurants or yoga classes or vacation, they've been listening to online gurus without being together in spiritual community, right? And that wonderful feeling of being together. So it's experiences are something lasting, those Kodak moments that just stay with us their whole life. So when we're looking for happiness, though, these are all these activities. So we've moved from the material world of having into the world of doing that all of the therapists are talking to us about in science. But in spirituality, we move to that inner level, that level of being, right? And that's who we are, who we really are. And that also takes us deeper. It's an inside job. Now, in the reading this morning from The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, he asked the question, do you choose to be happy at all times, regardless of what happens in your life? That's a pretty lofty goal, right? And, you know, you can do it by just doing a spiritual bypass. You know, when you have this great sadness happen in your life, you can just sweep it under the rug. I'm tough. I don't have to grieve. I don't have to, you know. And that's not what we're saying at all. It's not ignoring those feelings and those experiences. Yes, those are a part of life. But that's also an opportunity to go within and connect with spirit and knowing that you are spirit going through this. You know, when someone passes away that we love dearly, they are still part of spirit. We are part of spirit. We are all part of the one. There is still a connection at that spiritual level, right? Life goes on eternally. And so, but it's a transition. It's a grieving process. But there still can be this feeling of bliss and joy that's through that. You know that it's a transition. You know that it's that there is something greater to life which allows you to be grateful for what you've had in this life and to be grateful for for the memories and what is coming next. As adults, those times of carefree and exuberant times, they do feel farther apart, though, than when they did when we're children. You can't just turn it on and off quite so easily. And whenever we do feel wildly happy, there does seem to be something that comes along to undermine that happiness, like somebody dying. And it could be something major like that, or ending a relationship, or losing a job. Or it could be just something minor like getting cut off in traffic, or maybe you burn the dinner. And it was really going to be wonderful, but it's burnt now, right? So what do you do? So whatever it is, we decide to give away our happiness, right? How does that benefit us? How we have made our happiness dependent upon other people's behavior, or maybe even our own behavior, right? In the book Love and Law, Ernest Holmes says, no living soul can contribute one iota of happiness or peace or health or happiness to your life. And no living soul can take one iota away only as you allow it to flow through your consciousness. Right? So it's an inside job. In the book Seminar Lectures, Ernest Holmes says again, the ability to control your experiences and have them result in happiness, prosperity, and success lies in your own mind and the way you use it. Right? Now, Michael Singer suggests that we do this by understanding our inner energies. So when we're happy, our heart is open. Right? When our heart is open, we are happy. That's just the way it is. And so the key to staying happy is very simple. Keep your heart open. Well, how do you do that? When you're grieving, you just want to shrink up sometimes and just go within and just be there. But so how do you get this open, or when you have some kind of challenge? So Singer recommends that we let go of the melodrama and cleanse our heart. Right? So it becomes an experience as opposed to the end of the world. Right? This too shall pass. But it's part of the experience of life. That change is always happening. And this will allow our inner Shakti spirit to arise, and there's always this decomposing that happens before the new can be there. You have to take apart the Legos from whatever you built in order to build the new one, right? There's always something that's changing. And this is the path to spiritual awakening. In the Buddhist teaching, they talk about happiness, and unconditional happiness is an inside job. Key part of their teaching. The Buddha says, to enjoy health, bring happiness and peace, one must discipline one's mind. Find the way to enlightenment and wisdom. What you think, you become. So what we focus on, we become. Now, Buddhists teach that all suffering comes from desire, from seeing a separation between ourselves and our good. What is really a separation between ourselves and God, because God is all good. The one, the infinite and visible. Ernest Holmes, in a little book he wrote called Alcoholism, he says, all belief that we must remove all desire before we can become spiritual is just so much nonsense, was his interpretation. He said, if we could remove all desire for self-expression, then we should no longer exist. Right? Spirit is expressing itself in the physical world as us. So there's some desire there, some intention, right? An attempt to remove all desire is an unconscious impulsion towards self-oblivion, which arises from maladjustment to life. Now, Tom Sinar, who's one of the ministers that's a wonderful Ernest Holmes scholar, and he explains this a little with a little bit less prompt, gruff explanation, right? So he says a cursory reading of Hindu and Buddhist teaching can leave the impression that we must eliminate that desire to be liberated. A more correct interpretation, that's the PC way to say it, is to eliminate craving and attachment. With this interpretation, Dr. Holmes would agree. All conditions in the material world change, and we learn to flow with that change. Craving is an egotistic demand which we must make something happen in order to be successful. Right? Attachment means we must hold on to something to create stability in our life. Both ideas lead to unhappiness because change is constant. Right? True desire is built into the fabric of the universe. The desire for enlightenment is a true desire. Right? It is the desire to experience the power and presence of the divine. We talk about the power and presence, and the presence of God is the presence of love. Right? And the power of God is the spiritual principles, the law that's always working. It's always there. And it's creating a world in accordance with our beliefs, with our intention, with the divine intention as well, and with the race consciousness intention, right? So we're working to elevate that race consciousness, the collective consciousness of humankind from time immemorial, up to that level of the spiritual intention. When we are happy, truly and deeply, truly happy and joyful, that feeling of happiness can come from deep within our being. Our heart feels open, carefree, and loving. We feel truly alive. And at a deeper level, we feel connected to life itself, to that power and presence of divine love, peace, and joy. We feel connected to the entire universe, and we can feel that pulse of life in every cell in our bodies. We can feel it in every molecule vibrating in the trees that are blowing in the wind. In the ocean waves, when they're just crashing on the shore, there's life in every molecule, right? And maybe it's just the ripples on the lake splashing against the dock, right? We feel it in the stars that are moving through the Milky Way, the vastness of the universe. That's life. That is the wholeness of life. And at this level, happiness is unconditional. We are one with the universe. We are small, and yet we are an integral part of that universe. When we commit ourselves to unconditional happiness, we learn to keep our hearts open, as Michael Singer suggests, no matter what is going on in our lives. And when something happens, we observe our hearts closing, we can observe our energy levels start to drop. So to keep our hearts open, we learn to relax and to let go. We detach from whatever it is that's disturbed our inner joy, our cravings and our attachments. Eckhart Tolle says, as soon as you honor the present moment, all happiness and struggle dissolved, and life begins to flow with joy and ease. So it's about living in the present moment, not being attached or stuck in what happened in the past, and not being attached and living and hoping for the future, but enjoying the fullness of the present moment. And as we do detach and stay in the present moment, we discover that blissful joy of being centered in God, in the One. So infinite love and joy fill our heart and our whole being, full to overflowing and radiating out into the world. Right? We can even bless what disturbed us in the first place. Right? This is unconditional happiness. And this is the ecstasy of true freedom and enlightenment. Unconditional happiness is what I call joy, or even higher, blissfulness, right? The desire to seek happiness is a desire that motivates us to expend great effort to discover that one thing that will take us past all the ups and downs of life and of happiness that lasts. So here's a simple story that provides some perspective on that search. There was a big dog, and he saw a puppy chasing its tail, and he asked, "Why are you chasing your tail that way?" And the little puppy said, "Oh, I have studied philosophy and solved the problems of the universe, and which no other dog before me has ever solved. And I have found out that the very best thing for a dog in life is happiness. And that my happiness is in my tail. And that is why I'm chasing it. And when I catch it, I will reach happiness." Right? So the big dog said, "Son, in my young days, I was also interested in the questions of the universe. And also I thought that happiness is in the tail. And in the beginning I was also chasing it. But later, I noticed that wherever I go and whatever I do, that tail was following along behind me. And then I understood that I don't need to chase it. Happiness is already mine because I am already one with all that I seek." Right. So that love and that joy and the happiness are within us. It is that divine center of who we are. And it's always there. And all we need to do is allow it to express. We have to let go and let God, as we say. Right? As Kalyani was singing about in her song, about allowing it to be. Tom Sinar again, he says, explains Ernest Holmes, the experience of feeling the divine presence brings about the emotion of infinite love, a feeling that is deeper than emotion. That makes sense because we know God is love. Such love pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. In Science of Mind, we talk about divine love bringing us deeper, past the ephemeral happiness to divine joy that endures, that experience of the divine presence that brings us into a knowing that we are one with the One, that all are one with the One. It's not a teaching that brings salvation simply by saying a few words and that outer material expression. It's a teaching that takes us deeper into that experience of divine love, an experience of the power and the presence of the divine within our heart of hearts. It takes time and energy to learn to stay focused on that spiritual truth within, but when we do, when we take that deep dive and we're committed to finding that path, and even if we go astray, which happens easily, we come back. We come back. And Spirit is always there waiting. We allow Spirit to cleanse our heart, and we discover the unconditional happiness and love that we've been seeking. It's been here with us all this time, but now our resistance is dissolved, and our vision is clear. We know that we are one with the Divine One, with all people, and with all things. Our shift opens our heart to experience our higher self and the bliss of just being alive. This enhances our life and all the world. Let's take this into prayer. So in this moment, we feel in our heart of hearts that feeling of joy, of bliss, that is always there. But when we take the time, as we do right now, to listen and focus, that flame is burning. Gently, constantly, reliably. And we know that the power and presence of God is within us and within all of life. We know that this is who we are. And as we let go, we let that joy come to the surface and express itself through us and as us with abandon. And that feeling of bliss heals our every thought, word, and deed within our being. It heals our body. Each cell vibrates with the joy of knowing exactly what it is, of knowing that divine pattern of health and strength. And it is good. And in our mind, all of those thoughts, they now align with this higher concept of who we are, just as those magnetic filings align with a magnet. And so there is this feeling of ease and clarity and peace and deep understanding within our minds. And within our words that we share with the world, there is this vitality, this understanding, this deep inner peace that is unshakable that we share. And in our interactions with each person in our day, we recognize that same love and presence within them. And we call it forth. And together we dance together in unconditional happiness. And as other things come to the surface to be healed, we are able to stand strong, grounded in spirit, grounded in that love and peace, and elevated to the heavens, one with all of life, allowing it to just flow through us and as us, and know that it is healing and dissolving and being released as that truth of this person's being is coming to the surface. And it feels so good to watch and observe and to know that they are the one. Sometimes it happens in a moment, in a flash, and sometimes it may take many years. But that change is continually happening. It is the nature of the universe. It is the nature of the one expressing itself in and through all of life. It is the truth of our life and of this center, the Center for Spiritual Living, Tahoe-Truckee. And all of the things are evolving here. We come together to make that deep dive into discovering who we are, to experiencing the one together. Where two or more are gathered in my name, there am I also. And we know this and experience it, and we lift each other up together. We are grateful for this center and all that it does to open the path for many souls here on this planet. We are grateful for this love that is without measure, filling our lives every moment of every day with goodness and joy and peace, unconditional happiness. And so as we let these words go, we know that they have already been fulfilled, and it keeps rippling out into the world in greater and greater measure from the Divine One. And with deep gratitude, I know that it is so. And together we say, and so it is. So I'd like to invite Kalyani for one more song. Oh, and also while she's coming up here, Kalyani has some CDs that if you want to hear some more of her wonderful voice and songs, I think she's 4 more that are out there of her 9 CDs. And so they're on the way into hospitality, so you can look for those.
Yeah, they probably sound better than my voice does today. But thank you for that wonderful talk. So all we have to do is be in our hearts and be in the present moment. No problem. So, yes, I'm having a clearance sale with my CDs. I'm making room. We have a piece of property, and we're moving onto the property on a trailer, and this is in Penn Valley, Grass Valley. So I need to consolidate my CDs. So my CDs are $5 a piece. So stock up, because there's some good medicine there. Gosh knows it. They're well produced. This song is I think it was inspired by Oprah, actually. It's called Magnificent. Never recorded this one either. Hang on. I think it's getting warmer in here. My guitar knows that. Whoever said that you were never any good? Whoever said that you'll never make it? Whoever said that was hurting inside, and they don't know the truth? Maybe there are tears that I hide inside. Maybe I'm expecting the world to change. Well, the truth is gonna melt that block of ice and shower the light. It comes from inside. You can do it if you want to. Let yourself be seen. You can do it if you want to. Set yourself free. Make your life magnificent. You deserve to be happy. Make your life magnificent. Share your passion. Welcome to a world where every day's a blessing. Welcome to the playground of your soul. Welcome to a world of your own imagination, and your choice is the key. You can do it if you want to. Let yourself be seen. You can do it if you want to. Set yourself free. Make your life magnificent. You deserve to be happy. Make your life magnificent. Share your passion. Come out of the cave and into the light. It kept me safe, but I paid the price. I'm trusting in the journey. It's taken us this far to do this choice? Can we love who we truly are? We can do it if we want to. Let ourselves be seen. We can do it if we want to. Set ourselves free. We make our life magnificent. Who knows what will happen next? We make our life magnificent. Taking the first step. Have you ever said that you were never any good? Have you ever said that you'll never make it? Well, welcome to a world of your own imagination, and your choice is the key. Our choice is the key. Make your life magnificent. Ooh, we make our life magnificent. Ooh, we make our life magnificent. When we open up the door.
Very much. Ooh. Well, now is our prosperity time. And at CSL Tahoe-Truckee, we know that God is our infinite source, and for our center and for each of us as individuals. Your donations to the center are the one way that you can support our vision of embracing all and serving with love while awakening to the one. Our spiritual community is excited about diving deeper and experiencing spiritual transformation, divine love, and wholeness. So it takes funding to support our center and staff and let the world know who we are. So it's the generous donations from people like you that make it all possible. So we thank you. If you would please hold your offering over your heart and repeat our prosperity affirmation with me. I gratefully and joyfully share my offering, which flows from God, my infinite source. My gift blesses this center and all who are guided, healed, and empowered by its activities. All I share with life returns to me blessed and multiplied.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so.
Yes. All right. So as we have shared all of our gifts of time, talent, and treasure, we are grateful for the abundance that it shows of spirit expressing in each of our lives and in the life of our center for spiritual living Tahoe-Truckee. We are grateful, we receive it with love, and we share it with love. Life was good, and so it is, and so we let it be. So I want to welcome our guests, and I think we have some guests we've had here before. Would you share your name and? Yeah. Okay. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. Oh, that's where I've seen you online, I think, right? Yeah. Awesome. So anyway, if you like, we have a welcome what do you call it? Welcome manual, which I think is right here. It got used to make and we've got a little packet. And there's a card there that you can fill out if you want to be on our newsletter mailing list. If you're not already on it, you are? Okay. And then we have our little thank you guest book. Okay. You can send it. Okay. But anyway, so thank you for being here. And and also we have our hospitality time afterwards, so you can join us in the sanctuary. And stay on, if you're online, stay online for a while, and you'll have a chance to chat with everyone else that's online. And we set up the computer in there so you could talk to the people online. And so for the rest of our announcements, you can find all the announcements and Zoom links on our Constant Contact email newsletter, and the Instagram page, Facebook page, and our website. And we have video recordings of the Sunday talks that are uploaded on Mondays, both the full service and the talk itself that you can listen to, or on the website or the YouTube channel. And you can go to our updated website to find that, and there's lots of good stuff on there about all our activities. Next week, May 22nd, we've been waiting for it, Reverend Dr. Melissa Phillips and Reverend Z. Egloff are going to be here in person at CSL Tahoe-Truckee to provide both the music and the inspirational message on Sunday morning. Their talk is entitled, Who You Gonna Call? And if you've heard them before, you know how great they are. We will all be happily laughing and inspired all at the same time. And but then, as an extra treat, that afternoon from 12 to 2, they're giving a workshop called Truth and Love Communication, which is based on the teachings of Dr. John Sarno and his 1991 New York Times bestseller called Healing Back Pain, the Body-Mind Connection. So many people, including Melissa and Z, have experienced healings from chronic pain, chronic fatigue syndromes, migraine headaches, and many other things. So it's a great way to be healed. So I encourage you to sign up and pay for your workshops now in the hospitality on the website or by calling the office. The tickets are only $25, so of a small investment for a great return. And there's also a video on our social media packages that you can look at, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. And we need at least 25 people to come to that workshop to break even. So we want to make sure that you come and bring your family members and your friends, and this is going to be a great way to introduce someone to our center. They can see something else. It's going to be a great day, so please join us. Aren't they? Oh, they are. So another thing that's happening, lots happening in the next week. So that's on Sunday. This Saturday, the day before, we have our first 2022 CSL Tahoe-Truckee monthly Adopt a Highway cleanup along Highway 67. And there's about a mile of the highway that we signed up for. There's a sign that has our center's name on it. That you would see. I know that there are some of our members that's the way they discovered us, was through that little sign. And but this year Caltrans is requiring that all of the participants do a 30-minute online video training. So you can get the details in the newsletter. Talk to Nancy O'Neill, who's in charge. And but the volunteer crew always has a great time getting together and doing all of this. They're meeting in Kingswood Village Condominiums parking lot off of Commonwealth Drive at 9 o'clock. So that's a great thing to do for our community. Another new thing this year is we have a CSL Tahoe-Truckee e-bike group. And they're meeting on, these enthusiastic bicyclists are meeting monthly over the summer before the snow comes. And for weekly e-bike, their outings, and they're on Tuesdays beginning at 11. And so the first one is on May 24th, and they're going down into Reno de Monte Ranch Trail before it gets too hot down there, and later in the summer. So bring a lunch or snack, there you go, lunch or snack to eat at De Monte Ranch Park. Meet in the Starbucks parking lot. And you can find this map in the newsletter this week. Each week you'll see the of where they are, and it's really great itinerary where they're going to go. And another thing that's starting next Tuesday, the May 24th, is the E-Squared class. I'm going to invite Brenda Heldoorn up to talk about her class. Oops, you have to fix that.
I hope you'll join me for this fun adventure through Pam Grout's book, E-Squared. What it is, really, it's 9 energy experiments that each of us will conduct to prove that our thinking, the condition of our thinking, actually outpictures as the conditions of our life. And these 9 energy experiments are designed to bring forth in physical expression what it is that's going on in our minds. So the class is 10 weeks long. Don't let that discourage you if you have plans in that time that you may not be able to make 1 or 2, because each week is a different experiment and has a lab report. And so the purpose of us coming together weekly is to share our lab report so we can share with each other what the results were of our experiment. And so if you can't be there for 1 or 2, it's not like you're going to fall behind. You can still do the work during the week on your own because you have your own lab book. We'll miss your sharing that week, but when you're able to come back, you just pick right up with wherever we're at. So I'm really excited about it. I've done this work before, and everyone in the class has certainly had some amazing experiences. This is where the philosophy that we come here and learn about actually comes into the physical in our lives. We actually get to have an experience of what it is that we believe. And it's also a lot of fun. It's very lighthearted. Pam Grout she's very funny, and I just love her perspective on this work. And so I hope you'll join me. Thank you.
So thank you, Brenda. And we have copies of the book here available if you'd like to buy the book now. And you can also sign up in hospitality for the class. All right. And then and one more class, Reverend Carol Lindsley, who's down in Carson City, she is putting together a play shop, she calls it, From Ick to Joy, and with Melinda Blackwell and Fran Molino, and it's a chance to work with horses, and of course you can if you want, or you don't have to ride them, but that's part of the workshop. But anyway, this is something that you can join them on Saturday, June 4th, if you would like to be a part of that. So we also have the ongoing CSL drop-in classes on Zoom that are weekly. Chris Worcester's Tai Chi class on Thursdays is on break until June. But the Thursday meditation 4:30, energization at 5 with Mary McEnany and Penny Schuller is happening now online, and Course of Love meets online Fridays at 6:30. So lots of things happening. We also want to bless our children that are in our children's program, and so if you would bless them with me. We see you, we hear you, we love you. You are a gift from God, and so it is. Right. So we'll conclude with our affirmation and our closing song that you're going to see on the screen, but we can make a circle now that COVID is over and we're all here.
of spirit.